Imagine an animal that never truly lets its guard down. A calm pond sits under the pale light of dawn. Mist floats above the water. Everything looks peaceful, almost motionless. In the center of the pond, a duck drifts quietly, its body relaxed, its feathers resting on the surface like a small boat. On one side, its eye is shut. It looks asleep. But on the other side, its eye remains wide open, scanning the reeds, the sky, and the dark spaces where predators may hide. So is it awake? Or is it asleep? The answer is both. Welcome to the world of half-brain sleep. Scientists call this phenomenon Unihemispheric Slow-Wave Sleep, or USWS. It means one half of the brain enters a sleep-like state, while the other half remains awake enough to monitor danger, maintain posture, and respond to the environment. One hemisphere rests. The other keeps watch. For humans, sleep usually means surrender. We close both eyes, disconnect from the world, and trust that nothing dangerous will happen while consciousness disappears. But for many birds, total surrender can be fatal. A sleeping bird is vulnerable. A fox can approach from the grass. A hawk can appear from the sky. A snake can move silently through reeds. In the wild, unconsciousness is not just rest, it is risk. So evolution created one of the most extraordinary compromises in biology. Sleep, but not completely. Rest, but not blindly. Recover, but keep the radar on. The secret begins with the way bird brains and eyes are connected. In many birds, each eye sends strong information to the opposite side of the brain. The left eye is closely linked with the right hemisphere. The right eye is closely linked with the left hemisphere. So when one eye closes, the opposite hemisphere can enter deeper rest. When the other eye stays open, its connected hemisphere continues receiving information from the outside world. The result is a living split screen. Half the mind is offline. Half the mind is still watching. This is not a light nap in the ordinary sense. It is biological partitioning. The brain divides its functions like a security system that never shuts down. And nowhere is this more strategic than in the duck row. Imagine several ducks sleeping together on a log. The birds in the middle are protected on both sides by their neighbors. They can often sleep more deeply, sometimes with both eyes closed. But the birds on the ends have a different job. They are the sentinels. The duck on the left end keeps its outer eye open, watching the exposed side. The duck on the right end does the same. Their open eyes face outward, scanning for predators approaching from the edges. The middle ducks get more complete rest. The edge ducts become the alarm system. Then, over time, they may switch sides or rotate their resting brain, giving each hemisphere a turn to recover. This is not random sleeping. It is group-level survival strategy. A flock becomes a living fortress, where some members rest deeply, while others remain half awake on guard. Safety is shared through position. Sleep becomes organized by risk. But how do we know half the brain is actually asleep? We know because of brain waves. When scientists record brain activity, the sleeping hemisphere shows slow, high-amplitude waves. These slow wave patterns often fall around 0.5 to 4 Hz, the signature of deep restorative sleep. The neurons are synchronized, moving in large, slow rhythms. But on the awake side, the pattern looks different. The waves are faster and lower in amplitude, often above 15 Hz, showing active processing, alertness, and response to sensory information. One side is in deep rest. The other is still running the surveillance system. It is as if the brain has built a neural firewall, preventing sleep from spreading completely across both hemispheres. The two sides of the brain are not doing the same thing. They are operating in different states at the same time. This is what makes USWS so mind-blowing. The animal is not half asleep in a vague way. It is literally sleeping with half a brain. And the open eye is not just decorative. It can detect motion. If a predator approaches from the active side, the bird can react almost instantly. The body can launch from rest into flight in a fraction of a second. The duck was sleeping, but the alarm was online. This ability becomes even more astonishing in the sky. Frigatebirds can spend weeks over the ocean without landing. They soar over enormous distances, riding thermal currents and wind systems, sometimes thousands of meters above the sea. Beneath them is open water. No tree, no branch, no safe place to stop. So how do they sleep? They sleep on the wing. Research has shown that frigatebirds can use short bursts of sleep while flying. Sometimes these sleep episodes last only seconds. They may enter unihemispheric sleep while gliding, allowing one side of the brain to rest while the other helps maintain flight and orientation. Imagine taking a 10-second nap while flying over the ocean. One side of the brain dreams. The other manages the wings. The body continues to ride the air. The path remains stable. This is not comfort. This is survival under extreme conditions. Frigatebirds may sleep surprisingly little during long flights. Sometimes only a fraction of what they sleep on land. But even that small amount of rest can help them continue when stopping is impossible. The ocean offers no mattress. So the sky becomes the bedroom. Birds are not the only animals capable of this. Dolphins also use unihemispheric sleep. For them, the reason is different but equally urgent. Dolphins must surface to breathe. Breathing is not completely automatic in the same way it is for humans. If both halves of the brain shut down, the animal could drown. So one hemisphere sleeps while the other controls swimming and breathing. A dolphin can rest without sinking. A bird can rest without being eaten. Different animals. Same solution. Evolution finds similar answers when the problem is vulnerability. But if half-brain sleep is so useful, why do birds not use it all the time? Because there is no free lunch in biology. Unihemispheric sleep is powerful, but it is not as restorative as full bihemispheric sleep. When both sides of the brain enter deep rest together, the body can recover more completely. Memory can be processed more efficiently. Cellular repair and metabolic cleanup can happen more fully. USWS is a compromise. It is not perfect sleep. It is emergency sleep. Birds use it when danger is high, when they are exposed, when they are migrating, or when they must remain partially alert. But when they are safe inside a nest, tree hollow, dense vegetation, or protected group, they often choose deeper full-brain sleep. Because even the most vigilant animal needs real recovery. A brain cannot stay in survival mode forever. This is the hidden cost of always keeping watch. Hypervigilance consumes energy. It reduces restoration. It keeps part of the nervous system activated when it should be healing. The sentinel survives the night, but the sentinel pays a price. Humans cannot sleep like ducks or frigatebirds. We cannot fully shut down one hemisphere while the other remains awake and alert. But we may have a faint echo of this ability. Scientists call it the first night effect. When humans sleep in a new or unfamiliar place, one side of the brain may remain slightly more alert than usual. That is why the first night in a hotel, a new house, or a strange environment can feel lighter, more restless, less refreshing. Part of the brain is asking, is this place safe? A sound in the hallway, a creak in the wall, a movement outside the window. The brain reacts more easily because deep inside us, some ancient vigilance remains. We are not as skilled as ducks, but our brains still remember danger. For birds, this balance between rest and alertness is one of nature's most elegant solutions. Sleep is essential, but survival cannot pause. The brain must recover, but the world does not stop hunting. So they divided the mind. One half for dreams, one half for danger, one eye for darkness, one eye for the world. From ducks on a pond to frigatebirds over the ocean, from sleeping flocks to soaring migrants. Unihemispheric sleep reveals something profound. Rest is not a single state. It is flexible, strategic, adaptive. Nature does not ask, are you awake or asleep? Nature asks, what does survival require right now? Sometimes the answer is full surrender. Sometimes the answer is vigilance. And sometimes the answer is both. A duck floats quietly in the morning mist. One eye closed. One eye open. Half the brain drifting into slow waves. The other half scanning for the shadow that should not be there. It looks peaceful. But beneath the surface, the most advanced multitasking system in nature is running. Half asleep. Half awake. Fully alive. That is the secret of unihemispheric rest.